Mi hem akshayim licht of Torah. That's my hand. What does that mean? Who could you trust?
So where is it? What's in it?
Lamites. 39. He says, Tefillin shekosvan Evet Kanani. Now he doesn't say over here that a guy wrote them. He says an Evet Kanani, because an Evet Kanani has a din keisha. So he knows already a little bit of a yid. Oy isha or a woman, oy cotton, a filler who ben yigim shona. The mortgage there was. I remember once from the secretaries that we have over here. So there's most of them are kosher, and there's some that was set aside as part. So when I went through it, I saw that there's places where there's holamudim. Someone told me that on the east side, there was a place where, I don't know if you remember, but Label Basiski had a store on the east side, like a little grocery store. And on Essex Street. And over there, a few stores away, there was a place where they sell parts of Sefer Titus. So,
your ears?
Huh?
Your ears from the Sefer Titus?
Yeah. I don't know if it's still there, but I'm talking about years ago. So I've forgotten that conversation with the people there. So he told me that a lot of pre-war Sefer Titus, not what they're writing now, I mean, a lot of pre-war Sefer Titus, there was a time when in New York or in America, you had most of the Sefer Titus were pre-war. And then there was a war in between. And later on, years later, they started writing in America or in Eretz Yisrael. That most of the pre-war Sefer Titus came from a city in Europe called Slonim. Slonim there's a Chassidus, it's a very popular Chassidus there, Slonim. But Slonim was a Litvish Chassidus, it was called, because it was near the Litvish yeshivas. So there were Chassidim there, and they said that there's a problem, that there were people there, men and women, that wrote on Shabbos also. So that's why it doesn't sound like a chiddush. It sounds like a chiddush. It's telling you a din if a woman wrote. So I'm telling you that there was a time when it was unfortunately very popular. She says, Tefillin shekosvan Evet Kanani, or Yishai cotton, afil cotton hu ben yigim shonim, ella she'eina yadua b'vadai she'hevi beis saras. So he's not. To let him daven for the Yom, so you put on the chazaka, you go with the chazaka. But over here, help the chazaka. Vadayin eina ben yitches, shenuch olayma min hastam hevi kva beisayis. Oy shekosvan nochi, or guy wrote it. Oy kusi. Kusim were a group of people that were later considered not Jewish, but a filler kosvan beferish shmon. If they said like a shame mitzvah sefer Torah.
Tefillin, famous as tefillin. Talk about tefillin over here.
Right. Oisha kosvan yisol muma l'chol Torah a filler te'oven. It says to say a muma l'te'oven means that if he's doing it because he enjoys it, he wanted to get a piece of meat and he couldn't get a piece of meat that was kosher, but it's not lahachas. Over here we're talking about, we said muma L'chol Torah kul das hachas. That is, Afilu laveda achas, el she'ena l'tei oven. That means there's certain people that they don't want to put on tefillin. What? The Shabbos, the kashrus, the wheat, they don't want to put on tefillin. You know, there's all these kind of people that they have their hang up or the meshagas. El neshe'ena choshesh oleh kal. כגון שיש לפניו הטה ועשר, ומניח ההטה באוכל 10. So in other words, so he's already got a lot. It's not with the oven. With the oven, why do you have to? You have the same kosher meat. Why? Oy, shekosam mamzer. What moser?
Moser or moser? Moser.
It means a moser. I feel who moser would take oven. He has a reason for it. Ipsulun. Mishum mei shenama u'gishatam u'gsaftam. So we say the two things together. That kol sheyeshna b'kshira, the hainu she muzer oleho, he wears tefillin, umayim bo, yeshna b'ksiva, he's eligible for writing. V'chol she'ena b'kshira, eina b'ksiva. And v'ebed, v'isha, v'nochri, einam muzhorim al kshira, the whole dinner of gshatam. In other words, he's now going to make a chiluk. There's two types of people. There's people that it doesn't apply to them, and there's people that it applies to them, but they don't want to do it. So he breaks it up and he says that Eved v'isha v'nachin einam mizhorim al kshira. They're not mechuyev. The Torah said kshatim didn't mean them, and v'kotten apapi shemuza al akshira midivrei sofrim l'chancha b'mitzvos einam muza lem min ha'Torah. We learned before, you know, the minhag is that you put on tefillin by mitzvah. But we learned before that if you have a kotten that understands, so over Shabbat tefillin l'chancha, it's not also mitzvah, it's as chinuch. So he's saying over here that a kotten, even if he's eligible, because he's understandable, he's enough mature, but not min ha'Torah, he's not mechuyev. When the Torah said kshatim, it meant a yid, a gadol. Now, but l'chayra, without that he mit rabbanon, he could put on tefillin mishum chinuch, vet hashayla, that l'chayra, he's mitzad rabbanon, he is fit in the kshatim. So if he could fit in the kshatim, why do you need after a chiyuv mederaisa? It's also he's shaykh to, so that's what Dr. Rebbe is over here. V'gam midin esofrim ein hazoran el al oviv. In other words, there's no din on the cotton. Mishum chinuch, he should put on tefillin. The din is if a father has a child that's mature, so mitzad chinuch he has to put on tefillin. So come as that, as far as the cotton is concerned, there's no gshatim, not midrash and not midrabanan. Umuma umasu. Now a mummer is a yid. It could mean you could touch a mummer that it's a kishmat, or you could say that even though it's a kishmat, but that doesn't make him a yid. And a mosa is b'chal, the halacha has a very terrible opinion about a mosa that you can kill him, you know, even. Afapi she'ein muzhorim olav mikoma and kiva sheporku all. They threw up from them the yoke. Ibevadai einem amirim b'mitzvah. So, bevadai then so pastor to sagen, als they shout them, because they don't believe in the whole thing. V'yeshamim she'psul hamumah raveda achas. He said before that by a mumah, there's a mumah chalatayda kula, and he wanted to say also a question about mumah to aveda achas, like he said before. There's one of it. This thing he doesn't like to do. So he says, "V'yeshem shepsul hamumah raveda achas neshe'ena choshesh oleha v'hamosa hu midiver sofim she'echmir aleim chachamim la'asosem chenochim." They made them like goyim hayu lepokum me'aleim o mitzvahs. Ava mumah l'cholatayda kula afilu te'oven is posel min ha'torah l'divrei hakom. He's worse. Sharei hu kanochi l'chol davar kivin she'yotza min ha'kal afilu me'eina l'mumah l'avodah zorah l'chalo as a Shabbos b'vehesha. In other words, he's sort of ashamed of Shabbos. Like he comes to the shul, but for Hesha, he'll act like a from a yid. Afil l'dov echad levad, harei hu kanochi l'chol ha'torah, k'mar shkos v'yezeh. U'mi she'eina maniach tefillin, afil eina oisel ha'achas, is also posel min ha'torah l'divrei hakom. She'eina b'kshira. If he doesn't put on tefillin, then he doesn't consider himself a part of ukshatim, of the ones that were told to ukshatim. V'hu she'eina manicham she'eina choshesh aleim kal. Avon ein manicham with the oven. What does it mean with the oven? He says, "Kagoin shehoylech achra sokov." In other words, he doesn't have time. It takes time, but he doesn't want to take off time to put. He's busy. It's kosher richter. Ve'ein tzorach leima mi she'eina manicham mipnei she'ein yochra nicham mipnei she'nikta yoda asmoli. If his hand was chopped off, the Rebbe says he doesn't have to put on tefillin. Shekosher lichtei shrei muzahu al tefillin u'mayim b'mitzvosam. He really believes it and respects it. El she'eni yochad nicham machmas anchak. He's in a situation. So such a person, even though he's not being mekayim the mitzvah, but he's not called not about. He is about shira. It's that the mitzvah is shaykh to him.
So he could do it.
What?
That means that he could do it.
Right.
But so let's say you can say the same thing about the guy that he doesn't put on tefillin, but he one day could do it also.
What?
He can't do it. He can't do it. He doesn't have the hand.
Yeah, but I'm saying, let's say one guy that doesn't, someone that person doesn't put on tefillin. He said, "Bisha me'ina maniach tefillin, tefillin eina oisel." Possible to tell it. A guy that doesn't put on tefillin can't. But one day he could put on tefillin.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Sounds good, right?
The truth is, otherwise.
Do tshuva, yeah.
Ger shechozer l'dosai. Ger shechozer l'dosai means a person went to a gatus, and the Russian more chozer l'sudai. He changed his mind. Machmas yira. Because Machmas yira could be like he's afraid of the goyim, that he was once one of their people, and now they may take revenge from him, or maybe now that they consider him a yid, so He's a Yid, so a Yid, I'm beschrogen, you know, so what does he do? He gives it up. Because the tefillin l'shmom, yesh machshirim, v'yesh poslim. Mipnei she'eina b'kshira, sharei efshar l'aniach tefillin b'tzina. In other words, if he did it mitzad yira, so then who stops him from putting on tefillin b'halt nahait? The whole thing is afraid that for the goyim, but that's what they see him wearing tefillin. But they don't, so put on tefillin. If he's chayzul surah and he stopped putting on tefillin, then he's like a goy. V'yesh l'hachma b'devrayim b'shol Torah. Kol she'posel l'kaisam. There's by Sofrim, there's some Sofrim that just do bedika. They don't write. Like they go in a place where there's a lot of Sofrim there. So the Sofrim that write and the Sofrim that check. So he's saying that Kol she'posel l'kaisam, posel l'kol tikkun achsiyason. In other words, he can't be a baidik also. Shekashe'oisa ma'isa b'guf atfilin, Kegain, he's giving other Kegain Lasais Chipu Habatam Oiga Tofram. Chipu Habatam means you have to, it means the making of the bottom. So you have to shape it in order to use it. Of them, but the actual making of the bottom, kosher filanochi, imabed ushmoy.
Isn't that the like the processing? Ma'abed zayin. So
How could that be?
I think it means working with the leather.
How could it be ma'abed l'shmoy?
Doesn't mean probably
I think it means working with the leather.
Right. So nachi, I feel nachi ma'abed l'shmoy. What does that mean? What does that mean? Ma'abed l'shmoy? How could it be a great to do l'shmoy shel tefillin?
He means that he made it l'shem tefillin. He doesn't mean l'shmoy that he has to think. It's not a piece of leather that he made for shoes.
So he's making it for the tefillin.
If he made it for tefillin, that's what he means over
So
there.
he's making it for means that he's making it the leather for the tefillin.
Yeah.
If he makes it for shoes and it changes to leather, then
Right.
it's not.
ואם אחד מהפסולים חופץ בבטם אוי חופן בבטם אוי תופם psulim. In other words, if one of the apostle, if he made the bottom, so they said then he's no good. Why? Mipnei shehashin shel Hashem shebebatim shorosh shehu b'chal chifu utzvir. It's a part of the chifu is the covering of the parshas. So that a guy can't do. Avo im gora debek sheben ois la'ois. If there was almost 2 letters that were attached, and he scraped off to make the separate the letters, I also shot tikkun kosher b'di'evid. Who adin im tofa sefer Torah. Tofa sefer Torah means if he sewed together the yeriyas of the sefer Torah. So he said before that if he sewed the tefillin, he said it's no good. So the same thing is also by Sefer Torah. Utfilin shekosva min. Now, usually we usually talk about min means not bekoidus, but over here he touches it a little different. The hainu ha'odu la'avodah zara. In other words, that he's attached to an avodah zarah. So Yisrafu, they should be burnt. Shestam machshava min avodah zarah. So when he wrote it, what did he write? What did he have in mind? Avodah zarah. So it's no good. Nimtzu b'yad min.
So that you can make, the things they make for the Sefer Torah, for the cloth. A guy can make the cloth.
The cloth itself, the chayri could make. Nimtzu b'yad min, v'eini yadua mikosva. If this apikotis has a pair of tefillin, and you don't know who wrote it, is yigdazu misafik, shema hu kosvan. Maybe he himself wrote them. Now, even though before he said that you burn it, but he says, "Ava ein sofrim misafik." If you know for sure that a min wrote it, so then you could burn it. Sefer Torah costs a min, you saw it. But if it's a suffix, so you should put in geniza. Geniza means that put it aside for burial, but not. There's a shayla in English Moshe, I remember, if you're allowed to buy a Sefer Torah from a conservative shul. So he says over there that you're allowed to, because they don't have Sofrim that write Sefer Torahs. So it came from an Orthodox shul or from Sefer.
And if they start doing have, and if they conservatives, if they taka do have suffering one day,
so it will taka be a shayla there.
If they don't put on film, they don't.
So it will be a shayla. So you need the geniza. You can't burn. If you know for sure that a min wrote it, you could burn it. If you're masupik, if a min wrote it, so then you goyniz it. But as long as you're not for sure and you're not a suffix, like he's saying, those days they didn't write Sefer Torahs. Nimtzu biyad nochi. If there's a guy who has a pair of tefillin, question: how did the guy get the pair of tefillin? And he wants to sell it. Could be stolen. I mean, we'll see about that. Ve'en yadua mikosvan. So k'sheirim afilu l'machirim b'sefer Torah shenimtzu biyad nochi v'chosheshin shema hu kosvan. Ufisha b'sefer Torah yesh lochash shema kosvan l'asmei l'shamid. He wanted to be a cipher, so he wrote it for practice. Avo tefillin ein dakim v'kosvan v'bevadai bo liyodem Yisrael. It's sure it came from a Yid. Before he said very much against the min, בסעיף ה' שהמין הוא יודע לכתוב ויש רוחש שם עיר המקרא שכוסר גם תפילין אבל בשאין לצייר בהם אבל סתם נוחרים אין יכולים לכתוב. It's making a difference between a min and a goy. אלא שבספר תורה חשינה שם עיר אחד שיודע לכתוב because of Sefer Torah כדי לסרמד בתוכה. אבל אין רוחש כל כך שמה עיר אחד שיודע לכתוב בעיר שכוסר גם תפילין שאין לצורך בהם. He has a purpose for Sefer Torah. You see, this din fits by Amol Gezeiten when they wrote a Sefer Torah to learn it. They didn't have Sforim. But Heintige Zeiten, no one writes a Sefer Torah to learn from it. So you write a Sefer Torah, Shem Sefer Torah. If you want to learn, you buy a printed book. So if question of a goy or a min doesn't apply because a goy or a min are not going to write it. Now he says, we'll learn one more. Ein loichim stam. I told you that's Svarim and Tefillin and Mezuzah. That's called stam. Ein loichim stam in anochi yosem gnei demeim haber. In other words, you should not pay him a lot of money for it. Sometimes people think, that, oh, I'll give him a lot of money because it's a mitzvah. I'm going to do a mitzvah. I'm getting. He said, don't overpay him. Because if he sees that the business is good, he'll steal again. If he sees that he doesn't get, nobody wants to buy it or they pay very little, it doesn't pay for him to go out of his way to steal it. In other words, there is an Indian to redeem the double Shabbat Dusha, so you can give him a little bit more, even, but not much more. But v'layema l'anochi sheyimka b'davar mu'oid pen yichas anochi v'yashlicha l'ibud. He stole it to make money, right? If he sees that he makes a decent profit, it pays for him to sell it. If you pay him a lot of money, you'll encourage him to steal again. He says, but don't try to tell him, give it me for, it's worth $100, I'll give it to him for $10. So he'll get angry and he'll throw it away. He wouldn't give it to you. So the bite is not a bizarre Sefer Torah. So therefore he says, buy it even a little bit more, but not much more.
Yes.
Sure, thank you.